welcome to a brand new segment of cranial leakage that I call Cranial Cooking. Here, I'll show you all how to make a few tasty, delicious little things and throw in a few fun facts as well. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pineapple pork dish. For this dish you will need 6 ounces of pineapple juice concentrate, 1 8-ounce can of pineapple chunks, soy sauce, garlic powder, and a 2 to 3 pound boneless pork tenderloin. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is just a very basic marinade. First of all, we're going to take the pineapple juice concentrate, thawed of course, and we're going to just pour that into a large Ziploc bag. This stuff can be kind of thick, so just make sure that you got it all out into the bag. And then we're going to take the 1/3 cup of soy sauce, and we're going to pour that right on in there along with that pineapple juice. And finally, we're going to finish that off with a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then all you have to do is just seal that up for a moment and just kind of swish it around to combine the ingredients. Now, once you're all done mixing that up, you just need to take your pork tenderloin and just put it right on in there. And then we're going to try to seal that bag up just a little bit. And then as soon as you've sealed it up almost all the way, go ahead and wash those hands. Once your hands are nice and clean, just go ahead and take the bag and push out as much of the air as you can while sealing up that last little bit of it. Then go ahead and fold the bag over like so and just kind of move it around to make sure there's a good coating of the marinade on the pork. Once you've got your tenderloin all nice and sealed up, just go ahead and stash it in your fridge and store it in here for at least 8 hours, making sure you turn it over occasionally. Now be patient because the marinade needs a good amount of time to soak into the meat and do its stuff. What stuff is that? Well, follow me. Well, besides bringing all kinds of flavor to the party, that pineapple juice is going to help tenderize this meat for us. You see, collagen is the main protein of connective tissues in animals, and the thing about that pineapple juice is it's got a lot of acids in it, and those acids are going to help break down that collagen. Less collagen means more tender meat, and more tender meat means delicious. Well, now that it's been 8 hours, we can start getting ready to cook that meat. What you're first going to do is go ahead and preheat your oven to 375 degrees. And while that's heating up, let's talk hardware. In order to cook this thing, we're going to need a cooking pan, a roast rack, and a cooking thermometer. And yes, the thermometer is absolutely essential because it's the only way that we're going to know if this thing is done all the way through. It's a very simple setup. All you have to do is just stick the roast rack right on top of the pan and you're done. This is all that's essential. However, as you can see, I've covered the pan in a layer of tin foil. I like to do that just to save myself a little bit of cleanup. Alright, once that oven is preheated, go ahead and take out the pork. Then you're just going to open up the bag and drain the marinade into a bowl. And once you've got the marinade out of that bag, let's go ahead and set the bowl aside and we're going to attend to the meat. Just go ahead and take it out of there and set it nicely on the roast rack, just like that. Then just take the roast and put it in the oven for 10 minutes. Now once those 10 minutes are up, you have to turn your oven down to 325 degrees. And you're going to want to leave that in there for about 45 minutes. And once that 45 minutes has passed, you just take that cooking thermometer and you stick it right into the center of the thickest part of the meat. And once the meat reaches an internal temperature of 150 degrees, you're going to want to take that meat out of the oven. Now it's going to heat up about 5 degrees more because the meat continues to cook internally even after you've taken it out of the oven. That's a good thing because our target temperature is 155 degrees. Alright, well, you're kind of joining me in progress over here. As you can see, our meat is done, and doggone it if it doesn't look awesome. What I am doing right now is I am slicing up some of those canned pineapples into smaller bits because they are going to be part of our marinade sauce. Alright, now, you remember our marinade from before, how we saved it in that bowl? Well, what I've done now is I have gotten that out and I have poured it into a saucepan. And what we're going to do is we're going to boil that marinade into a sauce. What you're just going to do is you're just going to throw it right on in there and then just boil it until it thickens a little bit. Now the boil is absolutely essential because remember, that's been sitting in uncooked meat for 8 hours, so you have to make sure that all the nasties are cooked out of there, and getting a boil should do that nicely. Alright, we have achieved a boil on our sauce here, so I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit, and then we're going to take those diced pineapple chunks that I chopped up earlier, and we're just going to mix those right on into that sauce. Alright, now we want to make sure not to walk away from that saucepan because we're only going to boil it for a little while. But while we're doing that, we're going to cut up this meat a little bit. Now if you're worried about burning your hands, which you shouldn't be, you can just take a fork and a knife and move them like so. We're just going to slice up this meat here. I'm just going to steal a little end piece and show you this. Now, doesn't that look tasty? I think I'm going to have some right now. Yes, that is good. Now, don't that look tasty? Well, that is all that I have for you for this segment of Cranial Cooking. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to finish what I started.